zone.
Hello and welcome once again to another episode of Hashtag Wireless Family. I am joined by a very long-time supporter and guest of the channel. This is the first time he's been on, but he is a supporter on Patreon, which means I cannot thank him enough, and it has been way too long in between drinks for this man on the channel. He is quite active on the social media, so you may have seen him around. I want to welcome onto the channel TOMMAHAWK79. How are you, mate?
Oh, g'day. I'm doing all right.
Now, it has been quite some time we've been trying to get this recorded starting, so I do apologise, Tommo, for holding you on so long.
That's all right.
And I do want to say this is probably the latest I think I've ever recorded something for the channel that hasn't been designed to be so. So I do apologise if I stumble my words a little bit. But as I said, thank you for coming on, and hopefully this isn't the last time you're on either, because you have been a long-time supporter.
Yeah, it's all good.
So now, Tommo, you have your own channel. Now, you've got your main series, which I won't go too deep into. I'm going to let you explain them, but you've got a Formula 1 and a FIFA series, and you also have a few, what you call your triple R games. So do you want to just talk quickly about what they are?
Yeah, that's retro, random, and request games. Random ones being something I might find in the store and put on as a filler. I try to have no more than 3 running at a time, and I've got 3 going at the moment. Retro being older games, obviously, and request. Well, people can suggest games for me to add to the list when I run out of things to put in as filler series. And so at the moment, I've got going. I haven't done an episode for a while, but Spirit of Sanada, the Samurai Warriors, based on the Tokugawa shogunate era back in Japanese feudal when they had all those wars and shit.
Yep.
Fighting with swords and ninjas and cool stuff.
And you had 2 more as well, didn't you?
Yeah, the next one that I've got going is Mad Max. I haven't done an episode for a while of that either, but I do hope to get that going a bit more regularly now that I've got a new pattern of doing the Youth Squad Mongrels on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Sundays, and Mondays. That gives me a bit more time to do filler series on the odd days, 3 days a week. But yeah, I've got Mad Max for 2015 game. I've also got Valkyria Revolution, which is a spin-off of the Valkyria Chronicles series.
Very nice. You did mention your YSM just very quickly there, but I'll get you to go through your 2 main series, your FIFA and your Formula 1 series.
All right, I'll start with FIFA 19, which is Youth Squad Mongrels with Stevenage. And we're just about to get the final episode of this current season. Well, not the final episode of a series, obviously, because we're only about to finish off the 2nd season. And going into the final 3 games, there's 3 points separates the top 3 teams, my squad, and the other 2 being the FIFA 17 Mongrels representative game series. Blech! Not the game series team, Mansfield Town. You talked about flurbling your words. I was the first one to flurble.
We're both a bit tired, mate, but that's all good. We'll carry on.
But yeah, and the other one
fashion.
the other one is Bear Ham's Celebrity Squad of Northampton. He's another American YouTuber that I'm starting to build a friendship network with a bunch of other YouTubers.
Very nice. And just quickly, what was your Formula 1 Stackpole series?
Yeah, F1 2018, the Stackpole story. The first Jamaican F1 driver on YouTube, as far as I know. And his full name is. I created it by using a name generator, a Jamaican name generator. Until I went, it took me about all day to get the 3 names I liked, and it's Tyjon Keenan Stackpole, TKS.
It is a very, very interesting name, but a different concept and a different idea of getting a name. So I do rate you for that.
Hmm.
It would have taken a while to spit out something like that, I'm imagining, you know?
Yeah, and it's going all right. Although I should have really been into the second, third, or maybe fourth season because all the other big Formula One YouTubers that can just spit out episodes because they've got the skills that I don't to be able to record and edit and all that good stuff. Just only just coming up to finishing the final matches races Grand Prix. Got Brazil to coming up today. I'm doing. Oh, I've now dated the video, haven't I?
Oh, well done, Tommo. Well done, mate.
But yeah, as we're recording this, I'll be going live later with I'll be going live with that, and yeah. But by the time this comes out, I should be in the second season, and I'm doing quite well. I've managed to aggressively upgrade the car and get a podium, and Fernando scored a victory as well at Singapore.
Very nice, very nice. So there are exciting things coming in that series then,
Oh
because
yeah.
you are starting to progress through it a little bit further now. And as you said, you're aggressively upgrading. So it shouldn't be too long until we start seeing consistent podiums from you. So it's a good time to jump on that now.
Yeah, I reckon we should be challenging the big three a bit more in season 2. And I'm still on track to be pushing for championship contention in season 3.
Yeah, so exciting things ahead then. And I do want to say thank you for not only dating the video once, apologising for dating the video, and then coming back and doing it a second time.
Yeah, I can be a bit of a numbskull.
So I've got a deadline to this video out by now. So thank you very much for that, Tommo.
It's all right. People will just ignore it.
No, it's no problem at all. It'll be out. It'll be out within a few days anyway, depending on how quick I can get it through editing and.
Fair enough.
And now's probably a good time to mention it. So I've half segued into it. Thank you very much to Cornerflag Games for hosting this podcast because, as I mentioned at the top, we did have a lot of issue recording this. We tried 3 or 4 times and my computer decided it didn't want to cooperate. So we had to employ Benno from Cornerflag Games in to record it for us. So thank you very much to Ben. I know he's sitting there listening at the moment. It does mean a lot, mate, because I was about ready to
Uh-oh. You went a bit wobbly there. Let's cross our fingers it won't fuck up again. Pardon the language.
We'll keep pushing on anyway. It doesn't matter. All right. So, Tommo, this is the first time you've been on the channel. So not many people might know who you are. So do you want to just talk a little bit about who you are, what you do, what your hobbies are, that sort of thing?
Well, first of all, the way I would describe myself would be a hairy man, ape, monkey, beast, bear thing.
A bit of an underdog, would you say?
Not really an underdog, but I do get on into the rock and roll scene a bit, and yeah, most people from my channel will know me as Tommo, as my persona on the stage, and when I am on the YouTube. So yeah, but my real name is Matt.
It is, and it's actually quite funny. I actually only ever found that out when you ordered some Kings of Apparel merchandise. I didn't realize. I always assumed your name might have been Tom or Thomas. So you
yeah,
I can see where that came from. I can see where that came from. Yeah. But yeah, that confused me. I got the order and went, "Who's that?" Oh, right.
No worries. No. But yeah, I do intend to change my first name from Matt to Max because I've never liked my first name. So there's a reveal for the first time on. I haven't really said anything about my real name to people on my channel.
No, and thank you for sharing that because I understand YouTube's sometimes a little bit of a scary place. So we are getting a lot of firsts on the podcast lately. We're starting to kick things up a notch. Now, you said Tommo was your persona on YouTube and on stage. Now, do you want to just explain to the people what you mean by that?
Well, I have been on and off trying to get a rock and roll career up and going. It's been stop and start because allergies, well, they mess with my eye, and because I get like what do you call it, allergic conjunctivitis. They mess with my throat and lungs and nose, all the sinuses. It's all connected by one big nerve. Apparently, the doctor says. So
Yeah.
I'll trust what he says. He's got a degree. He's got a fucking certificate. Sorry, I'm gonna get your channel and shit, aren't I?
Nah, don't worry about it, mate. I think we've sworn on the channel enough times that it probably doesn't matter too much anymore.
No worries. Oh,
just
well,
be yourself, mate. That's all I ask.
fair enough.
All right, so now you said you're a bit of a rock and roll. I won't say rock and roll nerd, but you enjoy your rock and roll, don't you?
Well, yeah, rock and roll and nerd don't go in the same sentence. Not in the same universe, but yeah, I am pretty big into the rock and roll, and I try to get to open mics, karaoke's. Well, karaoke's is more for practicing the stagecraft and picking up birds. And singing competitions whenever I can. But yeah, lately the allergies have been so bad that I haven't even been able to have the chance to have me voice in good condition to even record a video for my music channel.
Mate, you're a natural at this segueing. So your video channel, your music channel, your video channel, that's all of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Your music channel. Now, you have, I think, 3 channels on YouTube?
Yeah, I do. I ambitiously thought since the Samurai Warriors wasn't gaining much views at the time, I thought it was because it was in a big contrast to my other stuff, being sports kind of games.
Yep.
But I thought I'll start a channel just for Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors. Although Dynasty Warriors 9, I did one stream, and well, I thought the game was a bit shit compared to previous Dynasty Warriors. And yeah, until they go back to what's more like what they did in the past, or more along the lines of what they did with Samurai Warriors Spirit of Sanada, I probably won't continue. But yeah, that was the Ninja Hawk 79 was a kind of a failed side project, but it's still there for if I get to my future goals of having a ensemble of people to work with on my main channel. Then that'll give me more time to dick around with that one.
And it's good to always have a bit of a side hobby. I know it's an aspiration of yours to have that, but do you think that is something that you would want to do, is branch out into a main channel where obviously you're still producing content for, but still having the people around you to work on that, where you can have more time to do your little side projects and not so much different videos, but videos that you want to do for a second channel? Or do you want to sort of just keep it to a main channel?
Yeah, for now I'm just keeping it to the main channel. Yeah, down the road, if I meet the right people to work with and want to set the main channel up as sort of like a production house kind of scenario where people that don't feel like they want to have their own channel, but they're happy to work and on mine and share the spoils, whatever that may be down the road, and yeah, sort of thing.
Yeah, and that's probably a good idea actually, is having, because that also gives you something to aim for and something to try and reach, and it's quite an achievable goal, because you do have quite a big network within the YouTube community in Australia, and so that's probably not something that's too far away for yourself to actually achieve either.
Yeah, as for my music channel, Firehawk Music, yeah, that's got a couple of videos up, I think. But yeah, I need to get stronger way of controlling this dust mite allergy. It's just pisses me off that just not in a condition to do what I love doing, and that's music, singing.
Yeah, and as hard as that may be, it is something that I know you enjoy doing, and you have actually put that on a few teasers of you singing on your main channel as well, which is actually how I found out about Firehawk. But I wanted to ask you, what was the reason behind Firehawk, the name of the channel itself?
Well, it's just a continuation of my main channel's name, Tomahawk, because well, in when I created my name for World of Tanks, that's where the name comes from originally. I thought, well, my nickname's Tommo, and I like to swoop in from when in other games that you can come in attack from above. I like to get the advantage of height and come in from the top. And on World of Tanks, physics updated to make that even more possible. Tom is a hawk. He comes in, swoops in, and jumps on their enemy's head and kills them. That was the idea behind it.
Okay, that's actually quite interesting. I didn't know that about yourself. So there you go. Even I'm wanting today.
Yeah, a lot of the time I've gotten comments from other people on the World of Tanks and the World of Warships. Oh, you've spelled Tomahawk wrong, and I'm going, no, there's a different reason for the name, and I just troll them and piss them off. In other words, be a mongrel.
I do love it when people try and tell you how to spell your own names right. It's like I get that with one of my nicknames being Tezza. I spell it with one Z instead of two because I'm lazy. And people try and tell me how I spell my own name. It's like, well, no, that's how I spell it. Like, It always amazes me that people have the audacity to tell you how to spell your own name. I'll never understand that. All right. Enjoyments, Tommo. Do you have any more that we haven't sort of covered yet? Do you have any more hobbies or passions that lie deep within your mind that we don't know about?
Oh, yeah. So sorry, I just panicked for a second because my screen went blank.
That's all good.
Damn screensaver. But anyways, things that I do enjoy. Probably not even Benno would know this, but 10-pin bowling.
Really?
I used to do league, amateur league. You pay your money and play each week. At Breedy Hill with me mate. Before they tore down the Mount Druitt one, it was at Mount Druitt and then at Breedy Hill afterwards. And with me mate in Sydney, who's known as Mork, I've had him on my channel once when I visited him in Sydney. He was on an episode with me.
Yes, I think I do remember that. MORC, is it?
MORK, as in Mork and Mindy. No.
It was KK. I was taking a stab in the dark, but I thought I recognised it.
Yeah.
All right, well, I want to get a little bit deeper into this.
There's a couple of other things that I enjoy too.
Yeah.
Obviously enjoy listening to a lot of different music, but I also do enjoy researching and looking into ancient histories of wars and battles, any kind of movie or art and literature about ancient battles where there was like swords and crossbows and all that kind of stuff really interests me. And I'm actually reading a really cool book series by a guy called, I think it's Miles Cameron, and it's I'm not quite sure what the series is called, but the first book is called The Red Knight. The second one is The Fell Sword, and I'm up to the third of the 5 books, which is called The Dread Worm. Not like worm, but like WYRM, like worm, like it's dragon. Like it's a different way of saying dragon.
Yes. It did take me a second to figure that one out.
But yeah, I can't quite with my Aussie mouth say it properly.
No. I've never heard it explained so elegantly, but yes, there are some words that are quite hard to say.
But yeah, I touched there on two things that I like to do for leisure, as I am a very avid reader. If you have a look around my room and the garage, there's like a ton of trilogies of all kind of books where there's wars and swords and wizards and shit.
Yeah, I do. I have noticed before in a few of the videos you've recorded in your garage that there is amongst the clutter of random bits and bobs. There are some books normally up on a shelf, if I remember right.
Yeah, there's some. There'd be some in the background on the table.
Was it a table? Yeah, I do remember seeing them somewhere. I'm going to stop talking now.
Yeah, they're piling up. I'm gonna have to buy bookshelves when I move into a new place.
Oh, when are you moving?
When I find a place.
Yeah, you and me both. Don't worry. Alrighty, I'm going to move on to our new. We won't call it a segment because it slightly varies every week, but it's our new little bit of the show where I introduce a random little game to find something out about the our guest is the word I'm looking for. So last week with Isaac, we played a little bit of random questions. So I had up the Cambridge website and it was generating some random questions for me to ask him. This week we're going with word association and it's going to be based purely off your channel. So I'm just going to ask you some random questions, say some random words, sorry. And I just want you to respond with the first thing that comes to your head.
Alrighty.
So we're going to start off simple. I'm going to start off with mongrels.
Football.
Football, very good. He's got into my second one already. Football.
Soccer. Oh, I'm dumb.
Gaming.
Happiness.
Happiness, that's a good one. FIFA.
Rage. Shit. There's a long list you could say to that one. It's the first response.
Don't worry, this one's going to be even better. EA.
Crap ass. Okay, right. It just spilled out.
Words don't justify a response. YouTube.
Meh.
Meh?
Yeah, that was the first thing came to my head. Meh.
Actually, I've asked so far everyone that's been on the channel that's been a YouTuber, I've asked this sort of question too. What are your thoughts on the current state of YouTube?
Well, let me put it this way. If you're a small YouTuber, you get cactuses up your ass left, right, and center. And if you're a big YouTuber that does stupid, ridiculous, disgusting crap, like we won't mention who, little girly soy boy men. Well, I wouldn't call them men. I'd call them soy boys, yes. But yeah, they just get applauded and they still get money thrown at them and they have all kinds of people, so many people following them, watching their rubbish.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's in other words, the rich get richer and the small get fucked.
Unfortunately, that is pretty much how it goes at the moment. I'm going to try and move into some of the. It's still going to be on your channel, so it's still going to be relative to your channel. But I'm going to move into some more broader subjects, more not so well known of your channel. So we'll start with a couple like Mad Max.
Oh yeah, the Mad Max series. I've called that one as its subtitle is "Blowing Shit Up."
Blowing shit.
And that's basically the game in a nutshell. You drive around in a car, you shoot people, you punch people, you blow things up. It's fun, cheap fun, and I'd highly recommend it. 10 out of 10.
Oh, he's giving it a 10 out of 10. Now, I'm going to sidetrack again here, but watching you play it, I'll be honest, I've only seen one or two gameplays, but it seems like you enjoy just causing havoc and it's almost like a stress relief for you playing it, isn't it? It really is.
Oh hell yes, especially after a FIFA episode. After I've done a FIFA stream, it's usually the best tonic for when the AIDS hits you. So yeah, so I quite enjoy it.
Absolutely, it does show. I'll be honest. I'm going to try and get a few answers here that I've tried to tail. So I'm going to ask you a few, and I want you to rattle off your answer as quick as you can. Cornerflag Games.
Champion.
I'm really going to try and get you in trouble here. Crossbar Capers.
Legend.
Newcastle Jets.
They're okay.
Central Coast Mariners.
Jippos.
Sydney FC. Ooh, not a very confident one there.
Sort of okay.
Oh, I don't think that's acceptable.
I couldn't think of a word. My brain just went blank.
I'd be in the same boat, but not for the same reason, I don't think.
I'll just call them rich wankers. There we go. That'll solve it.
That'll solve it.
Western Sydney Wanderers, the best team in the world.
And I don't think I need to ask you where you live for everyone to work that one out.
Well, although I'm currently in Jippo land, I am Western Sydney born.
You are, and that is why there was such a confident cry of Jippo when I yelled out Central Coast, and why you were so enthusiastic when I said Western Sydney. Now, in true fashion, because I had all of this written up on my computer, I was trying to go from memory, and my computer has effectively died.
It's been shitting its tits, hasn't it?
There we go. He's got his catchphrase in. I reckon we've been recording for over half an hour now, so it's taking you a while to get your catchphrase in there, mate, but you've done it.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what I've just realised?
Hmm.
You didn't start with your normal. What is your normal intro?
G'day. I did start with that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll shut up.
You sound like you need a beer, man.
Oh, or 5.
That'll do it.
It's been one of those days. What can I say?
All right, moving along.
Moving on. Now, I also had 2 more questions for you that were opinion questions.
Ooh, cool.
So, firstly, I want your opinion on Australian football.
Australian football. Well, it's in a tricky spot at the moment because we've had the whole FFA board rubbish going on, but the A-League itself I think it's still going in a good place, and it just needs to get expansion sorted and other good things. Yeah, I don't get to watch much of the news or much of the games as much as I would like to because of the hours I keep when I stream between 10 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard or Daylight Savings Time, which we're in Daylight Savings at the moment. Most will say Sydney/Melbourne time through to 8 a.m. in the morning because of, well, being in a shared house. That's the restrictions I've had. And also it caters to the audience I'm going after with UK, Europe/America in the last few hours. It's my target sort of thing.
Yep. Yeah, which that was actually an interesting question that I did forget to write down was how do you sort of not cope or deal with, but how do you handle such, I'll say unnatural streaming hours? So for someone in Australia streaming at those hours, I can completely understand it because YouTube in Australia is dead and buried compared to anywhere like your America, where it's if you're not in America, good luck, pretty much. But
Yeah.
how do you find trying to stream at those times just to hit that audience?
Well, it depends on whether I get a proper 4 hours sleep or not. I try to shift my sleep around depending on what I've got to do in the real life during the daylight hours when shops are open and stuff, when I've got to do errands and things. So I either will sleep in the 4 hour bracket between 8 a.m. to 12/1 p.m. roughly, or I'll sleep in between 12 to 4ish/5, or I'll get me sleep in the afternoon from about 4 or 5 till wake up about 9 and then go again and after an hour after I got up or so. So some weeks it runs smoothly, and other weeks it's a bit rougher, especially if my allergies are mucking up like it has been this last couple of weeks. I don't know if anyone has noticed much, but I haven't been streaming as prolific as I normally would with my daily streams.
No, you haven't been, and it has been noticed. Just for the audience, you stream daily, but it's not the same content every day. So, actually, I'll let you explain what you record and when, because it does alternate in between days, doesn't it?
Yeah, I had an old system previously for most of the first 12 months and up until recently, where I'd try to get one of each series out, minimum of 2 to 3 streams a day. And I thought up a new idea for making it a bit easier to manage the FIFA side of things. And so I'm going with the main series, Series A at the moment. That's the Mongols. The flagship is running in that main series spot of Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, Sundays, and Mondays, as I said before. I said Monday twice too. But yeah, basically your odd number days, 4 days a week. And then on days 2, 4, and 6, which is your Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, is for Formula One, extra episodes of Formula One, filler series and stuff. But I'm still trying to do Formula One daily. Sometimes it's not possible because I need to have a high energy level to do the Formula One. And with the allergies being bad, that's why the Formula One has been intermittent over recent weeks.
So, to anyone that, well, even myself listening, that does sound like a crazy busy schedule, and you're running off about 4 hours sleep every day. I just
Roughly.
I just want to know, how in the hell do you manage that?
Well, I used to have a partial insomnia, which was brought on by sneaking out into the lounge room when I was a young fellow and putting the Mega Drive on and playing more Sonic or the Hedgehog or other great Mega Drive games, which was mainly at the time. It was usually largely would be Shining Force 2 was the one I spent the most time on. I think I completed that one all the way through about 20 times.
Wow. So it's a habit you got into quite early then.
Yeah, and it took me a long number of years up until about, say, late 20s before I managed to get myself into a semi-decent kind of sleep pattern. And for most of me 30s are basically 4 or 5 hours, 6 at most, will do me fine.
Okay, it's quite interesting to see it goes that far back in your childhood, and I wonder if that has anything to do with the fact that you can now so easily cope with so much less sleep than you'd say is normal, is because maybe it is sort of just a pattern that got set in quite early and it's now just habit.
Yeah, that's pretty much. And yeah, with me watching Formula One and other things overnight on the Foxtel and the Optus, well, back when we had the Optus Vision in Sydney in the late 90s. Yeah, just kind of kind of, yeah, it's just the way things developed, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I can understand that, but I still don't. I can understand it, but I don't understand at the same time. If that makes any sense, I can understand how you're doing it, but I
Mm.
don't understand how you're doing it.
Yeah, a lot of caffeine, coffees, and Red Bulls behind the scenes. Sometimes I'll even crack a can on air at the start. I'll be like, "Oh yeah, it's a fucking good sound."
Well, here's a little known fact about me that only the close friends of the channel would know about me is I am quite in the same boat, quite a caffeine addict. So as I'm looking around my desk at the moment, I have 3 cans of V, 2 Red Bulls, and 2 coffee mugs sitting on my computer table. So I can
Cool.
say I'm fairly in the same boat, mate. And that
Sounds all
is
right.
well, that is how I'm still running right this second. So
Mm.
sometimes you just have to do what you have to do to get through.
I haven't even had my first coffee of the day, so I'm doing all right.
Well, you've been up for a while. That's not a bad effort, Tomo.
Uh,
Alrighty, I had one more question I wanted to get through to you, and then we'll wrap it up. But I want to also get your opinions. I've asked you about the A League. I want to get your opinions on this year's Formula One. It has 1 or 2 races left for the season.
yeah, they're up to. They've just finished Mexico, so they've got the same 2 races left to go. But I do in my first season of my YouTube series. So they've got Brazil coming up. Not, I don't think it's this weekend. I think it's the
No, I think
weekend
it's next
after.
weekend.
Yeah, and then they finish at Abu Dhabi, I believe. I'm not sure if it's a week gap or a 2-week gap. I
I think
can't
that
quite
one's a week.
remember. Yeah, I think it is a week gap. But yeah, um, it looked like Ferrari were gonna for Ferrari. We've got
Ferrari.
Ferrari. We got Gappy. Ferrari looked like they were gonna do the business this year, and then they choked on their chicken. They strangled the pooch and jizzed in their pants and let Mercedes and Hamilton walk away with it.
Yeah, well, it's been interesting. It's been. I'll get your opinions on it, but it's been a fairly open sort of standing this year, hasn't it?
Not really. It's still been a Ferrari Mercedes 2-horse race, although the Red Bulls on tracks that suit them a bit better have managed to do all right. And I think Ricardo's got a victory this year, and I think he won Mexico. Was that? No, he didn't. That was he got pole at Mexico. That's right, and then Kimi won. That's right. I think
Yeah,
Ricardo's car blew up again.
yeah. Not for the first time this season.
Uh, um, although I could be remembering things wrong because yeah, my brain is a scrambled egg at times.
And that's why I was asking you, because I'm not going to back myself in to remember correctly at this time anyway.
But yeah, they've done all right, the Red Bulls, and with the signs looking good with
What
Toro
about the
Rosso
cars?
and the Honda engine doing all right this year, they might be on for a good challenge to the top 2 teams next season if Honda keep going on the up and up.
Which is actually quite interesting because they've not come from nowhere, but they weren't exactly your first backs just a few seasons ago, so they are on the up incline.
Mm.
Do you really think they could do that well next year?
If yeah, they've still got Adrian Newey, so if Honda produce the engine, they'll be hard to beat. That's
Okay.
that's the only ingredient they've been missing. The Renault just hasn't been on par with the Mercedes or the Ferrari engine unit.
No, and it hasn't for a while, I'll be honest.
Mm. Which surprised me about Ricardo's move to Renault. Maybe he knows something that we don't know.
Potentially. I'd assume so.
Because
But
yeah, they would have had to dangle some kind of big carrot of performance possibilities to snag him.
you would think so, but stranger things have happened.
Mm.
Well, Tommo, I think we might wrap it up there before you need to jump onto your streams as well tonight.
Sounds good.
I want to thank you very much for not only your support on the channel every video. I want to support you for your donations on Patreon every month. They do not go unnoticed, and I do thank you so much for it. It does help keep the lights on in HQ, and as you found out firsthand tonight, it is needed at the moment because the equipment is falling around me. I also, sorry, Tom.
Yeah, if I win on the Melbourne Cup, I might even donate a new computer.
No, that's quite all right. I wouldn't ask you to do something like that, mate. Not at all. But what you're doing is plenty enough. I do also want to say thank you, as I said before, to Cornerflag Games, or as we know him, Benno, because he has kindly donated his time, taken away from watching the A-League, which I'm sure he's actually secretly doing in the background, to help us record this tonight. It means a lot to for you to take time out of your night and help me do this when I know you're busy tonight yourself, Ben. So thank you very much for doing that, and I do owe you something for it. I want to thank you all for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. Make sure you check out.
Do you want my sign-off?
Oh,
I've come up with a good one, especially for you, mate.
Alrighty, I'll sign out the video on my end, and I'll chuck it to you, and I'll get you to sign off the video.
Sorry to interrupt you. Keep going, mate.
It's all good, mate. I hope you have enjoyed, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to check out Tommo, whose links will be in the description, to TOMMAHAWK79 and Firehawk as well, just to give that a bit of a plug. He also has... Oh, sorry. You still there?
Yeah.
Oh, it's playing up again. Let's get this done before it cuts out. He has new content every day, so make sure you check it out. It is worth the watch, and jump on these streams if you are awake at such a time. I know this is a heavily Australian audience, but if you are awake at those times, please do check it out because he has some great fun on stream and in the chats as well. He does get to every chat. He may not reply to every chat, but he does get to everyone. Thank you very much for being on, Tommo, and thank you once again, Ben, for recording this for me. Tommo, I believe you have a special sign out for us tonight.
Yep. Starring the Flaming Crows and tickle your dancing wireless fams. I nearly stuffed it. You have a good one.
See you later.